Let's begin now deepening our breath. So as usual, we'll do this in 3 parts or 3 phases: belly, ribs, chest on the inhale, and the exhale is the opposite. So as you begin deepening your breath, breathing deeply, pay attention to the solar plexus. See if there's any interplay between your breath and what you're feeling there in the third chakra. And there may not be, so please don't think there's something wrong if you don't sense anything. But do you feel a shift or a change as you deepen the breath? Does the inhale feel different than the exhale? And it might be very subtle, so sometimes you're not sure if you're like making it up or not. It's okay. Just assume that what you're feeling is real. And again, you don't have to ascribe a significance to it. Just notice it, feel it, allow it into your awareness. Now, I do want to emphasize that this phase of the breathing should be completely silent. So if you've been doing this and making a loud sound, then I'd like you to work on making the 3-part breathing completely silent. Okay, we'll practice it until you can breathe very deeply in 3 parts without making any sound. But now, once you've done that, we actually will intentionally create a sound, and we do this at the throat. This is called Ujjayi, and it's exactly like fogging a mirror, but with your mouth closed and creating sound on the inhale as well as the exhale. Okay, so now we'll begin to add a little bit of movement. Let's bring both legs in today. Give them a little squeeze and just move a little bit as a way of warming up the spine and the hips. So twists obviously do a lot in the spine, but they also affect the torso and all the muscles that attach to the torso. So muscles in the hips and the shoulders. Good, so we'll begin with a simple twist today. This is the twisted roots in Yin Yoga, so the right knee over the left. You can lock the ankles if that feels okay, but don't feel that you need or have to do that. And then let's drop those knees to the left as we look to the right. And let's just notice what we feel. We're still breathing in the same way. So again, stretching in the hips, the back, the chest, and the front of the arm, maybe in the neck. Good, we inhale back through center, we switch the legs. Okay, so on this side, it's going to be left over the right and then down to the right side. Okay, let's inhale, we'll come back to center, and we'll rock and roll up to seated. Let's transition to tabletop, so hands and knees. And we'll do a few rounds of the cat-cow. And then walking the dog. Okay, we come into our full expression of down dog for a few breaths. And then walking our feet to the hands, we can come into a brief ragdoll there. Again, I love using this to check on how my back is feeling. And also hamstrings, it's a good way to kind of feel what's going on there. So the entire back side of the body. And that might include your neck as well. With arms relaxed, we'll inhale and roll up in preparation for Surya Namaskar sun salutations. Okay, so traditionally feet touch, but one thing I've learned studying this stuff for a long time is what is traditional isn't always right for everybody. And this is one of, I hope, the innovations that we can bring into modern yoga and spirituality and these traditions that are so rich and they have so much to offer us. But traditionally, very often they're taught in a very dogmatic, one-size-fits-all kind of way. I'm not sure why that is, but I do find that that is often the case. So I think with more education, with larger sample sizes, hopefully we can let go of that and find that, you know, there are several ways to do most of this stuff successfully. So if I give you something and it doesn't work for you, please speak up. Let me know. Say, you know, this hurts, or I can't do that, or whatever it is, and we will find another way, okay? So traditionally feet would touch, but many people find that really doesn't work for them, their body type. So feet hip distance is perfectly fine. But let's just try and have the inside edges of the feet parallel, okay? And again, if that doesn't work, then speak up, let me know. We can figure out what's going on. Sometimes it is user error. Sometimes you find you misunderstood what I said, or something, you know, you're doing something funny in your body. But other times you're doing everything right, you're doing exactly what the instructor told you, but it's just your particular circumstance, maybe an injury, maybe just the way your body is naturally shaped, okay? Okay, so inhale, arms up, touch palms, we lift the heart, and we'll stretch from the pubic bone through the chin as much as we can safely. Let's inhale back through center, and we'll exhale to a forward fold. Try bringing the palms all the way down, bend the knees if necessary, let your neck relax. On the inhale, we can come to fingertips or take hands to shins as we lengthen out the spine. And as we exhale, we plant the hands and step the right foot and then the left to the top of our push-up. So I think all of you are well aware we don't want to collapse in the shoulders, but we're very active in the shoulders. That integrates the shoulder blades onto your back. So if I were there, I could tell you, but maybe you can get someone you live with to look at your back and say, hey, are my shoulder blades winging out? Are they coming off my back? Because then that means you can engage and stabilize that joint more. Take a deep breath, and as we exhale, we'll drop those knees and come down halfway, taking a breath there. And then we exhale the rest of the way down. Feet together, we press them into the mat, and for this first belly down, back bend, we lift the hands, head, neck, and chest. So we're just using the back muscles. As we exhale, we come back down. Inhale to tabletop and exhale back to downward dog. With the next inhale, let's come to our toes, look between the hands, and as we exhale, make our way to the front edge of the mat. So we inhale, we come back to standing back bend, and then grabbing the right wrist as we exhale, we stretch from the hip through the wrist, looking up and rolling the right shoulder back. Let's inhale back through center, and we take the other side. Good. Inhale back to center and exhale to forward fold. Let's inhale to the half lift, and as we exhale, we step the left and then the right to the top of the push-up. This time, it's your call, knees up or down. Take a deep breath, exhale halfway down. Take a breath there, and then exhale all the way down. With the inhale, we press into the hands, lift the head, neck, chest, abdomen, but keep the hip points and the pubic bone firmly grounded. As you exhale, come back down. Inhale, top of your push-up, and exhale back to downward facing dog. Good, let's inhale to the toes and exhale front edge of the mat. Inhale, standing back bend, up and back. Exhale, stretch your right side. Inhale, center. Exhale, stretch the left. Inhale, center. And exhale, sit back into an imaginary seat, chair pose. Good. Inhale, coming up and back, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, and then exhale, bottom of your push-up, low plank. Inhale, up dog, so knees and hips off the ground this time. And then exhale, do a push-up on your way back to your downward dog. Now, hopefully, you're beginning to break a little bit of sweat. So if I do this on my brow and I look at my finger, I can see there's a sheen of sweat. So I'm not necessarily dripping sweat, but I am beginning to perspire slightly. That's essentially exactly what we want at this stage. Okay, we don't want to be sweating profusely, but we don't also necessarily want to be completely free of perspiration either. So they're called sun salutations for a reason. They do build our internal heat along with the breathing. So that if you're not sweating, it could be you're not really applying the breathing techniques properly, okay? All right, let's get into some postures here. So feet touch, we inhale, right leg up and back. So it's three-legged dog. And then as we exhale, we lunge, and we'll inhale up into a warrior two. So I'm going to turn just so I can continue facing the camera here. Okay, so our warrior two, as usual, front foot and knee point straight ahead. Okay, we want the back leg straight, foot firmly planted, and the toes can either point straight to the left, or you can angle them slightly to the front wall. We just don't really want them pointed back. Okay, so straight ahead or angle in slightly. Now, I see this one a lot. Shoulders directly over the hips. Okay, can you all see that? Versus this, which I see a lot. Okay, so people are it's like they think they're going forward. No, we want those shoulders over the hips. Okay, so just bring them right over the hips, and then your arms parallel with the ground, and all you have to do is reach out like you're trying to touch both walls, and you'll feel those arms starting to get tired. That's a feature of this posture. It's not a defect. Okay, so a lot of people do this thinking, oh, the minute I'm tired, I need to drop my arms. the whole purpose is to get your arms, I won't say the whole purpose, but one of the purposes of posture is to tire your arms. Okay, so keep them raised, let them get tired. It's working. Okay, all right, now from here, we inhale up, and that's stupa, which is just a very simple transition. And then we exhale into warrior two in the opposite direction. Now we're just going to flow a few times back and forth just to get into those hips a little deeper, you know, to use the arms in a dynamic way. So we work different muscles when we're moving dynamically versus when we're holding. Okay, now this next time we inhale up, exhale warrior two, and then we inhale to the reverse or peaceful warrior. So this is like a marriage of the half moon, which we did in our sun salutations, and the warrior. So the legs exactly the same, and then the upper body, we are adding that stretch. So same idea, I'm looking up, right, my shoulders back. You can actually do this, which is what we do in half moon. So if you like, you can reach up, grab that arm, get it maybe a deeper stretch that way, but this is also fine, okay? And some people even reach around behind their back. Just make sure you're feeling it in here, you're opening up here, and you're breathing. Let's take a nice deep breath. We're going to exhale, cartwheel down, bottom of the push-up, and we'll do that on the other side, okay? All right, so side two, feet touch. We inhale left leg, three-legged dog pose. And exhale, lunge. We inhale to warrior two. Okay, so we've already sort of done this because we flowed back and forth, but this is the first time we're holding it on this side. So again, it gives our muscles a kind of a different opportunity here. Good. Let's add some flow. So we inhale up, stupa, and exhale to warrior two. And then this time we inhale to our reverse or peaceful warrior. So remember the feel of it. So try and work that front thigh, stretch this back leg, stretch this left side. See if you can find those things in your body. Good, take a nice deep breath, exhale, cartwheel down, bottom of the push-up. Now, once you've found those things, really the challenge is more about controlling the breath and, in a sense, influencing how we feel. So what we're trying to cultivate with asanas or postures is a relatively comfortable, relaxed feel, not by making the pose comfortable, right? It's a psychological, emotional thing that we're cultivating. It's not about, oh, let me lay down and make myself comfortable. It's doing something that might be inherently uncomfortable, but finding the comfort in that, if you will. Okay, and this is a very valuable skill to learn. Okay, once we're in our down dog, let's take a look at some balance. So inhale, toes, exhale, front edge of the mat. We inhale up to standing. And then as you exhale, we will bend those knees to a chair pose. And then let's bring the right elbow under the left. And you can either grab shoulders or preferably palms together in front of your face. And then we just inhale the right leg over the left. Now you can put the toes on the ground for a little added balance, or you can wrap those toes. And then you're dropping down, elbows down, and you're breathing. So again, don't fold in half, okay? When I say elbows down, it's not hips, folding at the hips. It's you're upright, but you're drawing those elbows down toward your knees. You're lifting those knees up toward your elbows, okay? Good. Inhale, let's unwind everything. And then exhale, other side. So left under right, and then inhale, left over right. So I mentioned compression, twisting. This isn't a twist, but we are compressing the tissues here. So again, the more those elbows come down, the more we get compression in the shoulders and arms. And the more the legs come up, the more we're getting it in our hips and legs. Good. Inhale, let's unwind everything, and exhale, forward fold. And you make your way back to downward dog. Okay, good work, everybody. So continuing on now, feet touch. We inhale, right leg up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale, lunge, and inhale to warrior two. Take a breath, and then inhale, stupa, and exhale, warrior two at the back. Inhale, reverse or peaceful warrior. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, stupa. Exhale, warrior two at the front. Inhale, reverse warrior. And then exhale to this extended side angle. Okay, so you might want to take a moment, adjust your legs, and hopefully you can see my fingertips are reaching away from my left heel. Just like in half moon, again, I'm looking up and I'm rolling that left shoulder back. That's going to open up my chest. And then I'm trying to keep my right ribs, the low ribs, long. Okay, so rather than kind of collapsing down in that way, I'm lengthening out there, okay? So breathing here. And if you have long limbs, you can possibly bind this posture, which looks like that. Good. Let's inhale, we'll come back up, warrior two, and exhale, cartwheel down, bottom of the push-up. Okay, so side two, feet touch. We inhale left. Exhale, lunge. Inhale, warrior two, take a breath. And then we inhale, stupa. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, stupa. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. And then exhale, extend. So the extended side angle. And again, you might want to adjust. So I usually go a little wider for my legs because it helps create that line from the heel through the fingertips. And again, you're welcome to bind here if that makes sense for you. Good. Let's inhale, back up, warrior two, and exhale, cartwheel down, bottom of the push-up. Okay, from here, inhale, toes, exhale, front edge of the mat. We inhale to standing back bend, up and back. And then again, Let's exhale. We bend those knees, drop down, hands to the heart this time, and then inhale, right knee over left. So just the legs, we're going to leave the arms out of it this time, okay? So if you're having trouble balance, then just stay here, work on this. Work on your balance, okay? Like I say, steady eyes, steady breath equals a steady pose. So work on that. Focus on your breath. Keep your eyes on one point. Okay, if this feels okay, then the next step is I'd like you to bring your elbow over the opposite thigh. Okay, so for you, that will be left elbow over the right thigh. And you're trying to twist and rotate your torso here. Not the easiest thing to do in this position, admittedly. Okay, let's inhale, we come back up, unwind everything. And then same thing, we drop down in our chair and then inhale, that leg over, and exhale as we twist, okay? Good. Let's inhale, come all the way back up, and exhale, forward fold. Now, I do want to mention, again, this kind of psychological element to the practice. Many of us grow up in an environment that is outcome-oriented, and we're told we're a good boy or a girl or a good yogi or yogini if we can do certain things. And a lot of people bring this attitude to yoga, and unfortunately they judge themselves, and they also, in that process, tend to reject the teaching. So they might say, I'm no good at this, this isn't the right class for me, right? That kind of goes like that. So I do want to remind everybody that this is not meant as something for you to judge yourself. And the best way to approach the class is just to do the best you can, whatever that looks like. So let go of the attachment to the outcomes. You know, oh, Doug's doing this and I wasn't able to do that, so this isn't for me. That's really the wrong way of thinking about it, okay? All right, good. Let's make our way back to down dog. And from our down dog, we bring feet to touch. Inhale, right leg. Exhale, lunge, and we inhale up into another warrior two. Take a breath. And then this time, inhale, stupa. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. And exhale, extend. Good. Inhale, reverse, and exhale, warrior two. Let's repeat that. So inhale up, exhale front of the mat. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, extend. And then inhale, reverse. And then this time, exhale, hands to heart. Pivot the left heel off the ground. So it's like a crescent lunge. So you're essentially in a crescent lunge at this point with your hands at your heart, okay? And then what we'll do is add a twist, literally, to this crescent lunge. So left elbow, right thigh. I'm going to turn again just so I can continue facing the camera here. Maybe you get a little bit of a better view, okay? So hands are at the heart, elbow is back, shoulders stacked, gaze is up, breath is deep. Good. From there, you can either just come bottom of your push-up, or you can do the arm balance Ekapada Kondyanasana. I'm going to skip it today because I'm already kind of a bit out of breath teaching. All right, side 2. Feet touch. Inhale, left. Exhale, lunge. Inhale, warrior 2. Take a breath. Inhale, stupa. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, extend. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, up. Exhale, front of the mat. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, extend. And then inhale, reverse. And then exhale, pivot the back heel, hands to heart. And then as you exhale, take your twist. Good. With your next exhale, you can come to the bottom of your push-up, or you can do your arm balance for a moment and then make your way back to the downward dog. All right, great work, everybody. So from here, let's make our way to the front edge of the mat, and we'll take a look at our peak posture today. Now I'm going to show you a more basic posture that you can attempt, and then I'll show you kind of the more challenging version of what we're doing. So we're combining 2 postures, which is the eagle in the legs, and then the side crow in the arms. So eagle we already did, and hopefully you could all do that with some semblance of facility, but the side crow, some people struggle with a little more. So it's something we break down in another class that we have, but we're not going to break it down in as much detail today. But what I'd like you to do is, if you haven't mastered that yet, and those of you who have can still do it as a warm-up, okay? So what I'd like you to do is bring the most basic version is one elbow comes to your knee, the other elbow comes to your hip, shoulder width, fingers wide, palms down, elbows bent, gaze up, and then very carefully you shift weight onto your hands until you can lift your toes up in balance. Okay, and that's called Parsva. That's kind of the most basic version of it. Okay, so you'd want to do that on both sides. And what I ask is that you get fairly comfortable with that first before you attempt the next thing. How do you get comfortable with it? You do it often, okay? I like to use an example because I'm a musician. If you've ever learned to play an instrument, you didn't get good at it by trying to play the piece once and then saying, oh, I couldn't do it, so I'm going to stop. And yet, I see that happening in yoga all the time. People take one stab at something, they can't do it, and then they'll sit and watch other people do the posture in yoga class. So that's not the way that your body learns. Your body learns through repetition by making mistakes, but hopefully making mistakes in a safe way, okay? So if you don't have that yet, I'd like you to spend the next few minutes repeatedly, gently, carefully, safely attempting that a few times. If you get winded, then you take a little break, catch your breath, but then go back at it. Okay, that's how you will eventually master that. Okay, next, if you're ready for our challenge posture, if you will, we will try and combine the eagle in that posture. So we already did most of this. So we inhale up, exhale, chair pose, and hands at the heart. And then inhaling, we'll bring that right knee over the left, and then we again exhale and twist to the right. So I'm mirroring you here, okay? Now, from here, what we like to do is inhale, open arms, and very carefully, it's almost a controlled fall, so you have to be really careful. Hands to the ground, shoulder width, elbows bent, And then again, same principle. I shift weight onto my left arm until my legs lift. So quite challenging because we are doing a twist. We have some compression going on in the hips and the legs, and then we're using our upper body, our shoulders, and our core to stabilize the upper body. Okay, so again, I don't know why people think I can either do it or I can't kind of thing. They don't see that the path between I can't do it and I can is repetition, practice. Let's try the other side, okay? So we inhale back up. Exhale, bend those knees, hands to the heart. Inhale left over right. And then exhale, twist. Okay, so you might end up just working on this part, like really mastering this twist if it's difficult, okay? But the next step is, again, you can open those arms up and then carefully, hands to the ground, elbows bent, gaze up, and then we shift the weight. So we've really only changed one thing, which is wrapping those legs. But in my experience, it makes it quite a bit more challenging for whatever reason. It's interesting that way with certain postures. We can change or tweak just one little thing. I'm not sure why. It could be weight distribution or some other aspect, but it can become quite a bit more challenging for us. So that's my experience with that posture. Okay, great work, everybody. So I'm going to recommend child pose. Take a breather, take a rest. Notice, so I'm right at the edge of what I can do because you can hear my breathing is labored. So ideally, you're not talking like I am. You're doing the yogic breathing. But if you find yourself hyperventilating at this point, you know, or you're breathing through the mouth breathing, we don't want to do that. We don't want to hyperventilate. Try and slow that breath down, deepen it. This is what we want, slow, deep, rhythmic breathing, okay? So reestablish that before you continue. And if you need to skip the next posture, then, you know, that's what you do, because the breathing is really the foundation. So if we lose our breath, ideally we pause, we catch our breath in child pose, and then we get back into it. Okay, so let's do our back bend. I really like this one because it's a nice balance. Ustrasana. So we do this a lot of times in class. So knees hip distance, toes tuck. Okay, hands to the low back. And then we inhale, lift that heart and begin going back. And you can grab the heels, you can let your chin go back if it's okay in your neck. Good. Let's inhale, come on up, and then we come to what's called Vajrasana, which is this. And if you really feel like you need a counter stretch, you can do child pose, which looks like that. But hopefully this will be enough. You just rest here. All right, good. Let's come back up. And now we'll do a side stretch. So I'll mirror you. We bring the left leg out to the left. And then inhale the right arm up and exhale as we once again try and stretch that side. So same principle, I'm looking up, rolling this right shoulder back, stretching the entire right side. Good. Inhale, let's come back up. Exhale, bring that leg in. And then Let's do the other side. Good. Inhale, come on up, and exhale. Let's return to Vajrasana. Take a breath. All right, perfect. We'll cross those ankles. Bring our legs out in front of us. I'll give you two choices here. So just watch me real quick, and then you can choose. First choice is Paschimottanasana, looks like this. Okay, forward fold, stretching the hamstrings in the back gently. Okay, second choice, and if it's hurting your back, then bend your knees and keep your back straight. Okay, so that would look more like this if you're getting back pain, okay? And then the counter stretch, don't do it now, looks like that. But when I say it's time to counter stretch, that's what you'll do, okay? The other choice is make your way onto your back. And first inversion is this, okay? This is called Viparita Karani. Very simple yogic safe inversion, very safe, okay? Because there's no pressure on your spine or your neck, okay? So first choice is that. Next choice is this, Halasana, plow pose. So we bring those arms under us, and if possible, feet actually reach the ground. Okay, plow pose, Halasana. And then the final choice is this one, which is half or full shoulder stand, Sarvangasana. Okay, if you're inverted, bend your knees and just gradually come back down. The counter pose to the inversion is this, Matsyasana. Slide the hands under the thighs, press into elbows, and arch the spine. Again, if you did the forward fold, your pose looks like this, Purvottanasana. Okay, so not everyone is comfortable inverting, so I don't like to force people to do that. Energetically, forward folds and those types of inversions, very similar. So they can function in a similar way for our practice, which is why I give you the choice, one or the other. Okay, let's go ahead and come out of our counter pose onto our back. We'll bring those legs in, give them a nice squeeze. And then arms out like the letter T, we just drop the knees to the left. So this is our final twist today. And it's one that we do in almost every class. So as usual, let's let go of the breathing. Just natural now. Relaxed breathing, close the eyes, letting gravity take over. And for me personally, this twist is much more comfortable than the one that I did at the beginning of the class. It's very natural because as our tissues warm up, they gain usually in flexibility. As something gets warmer and the molecules vibrate more, there's more elasticity. That's just, I don't know, that's physics, I think. I don't know if there's a tissue that as it gets warmer or a material as it gets warmer, it actually gets less flexible. I'm not aware of anything like that. So in general, as we warm up our bodies, we find we have greater range of motion. Okay, let's inhale back through center and we'll take it off to the other side. This is one of the arguments for something like hot yoga, where the room is already heated and just walking into the room, you're already warmed up in a sense. There are other benefits as well, but you're probably not doing hot yoga at home. But like me, you might still be sweating. All right, let's inhale back to center. We grab the soles of the feet. That is our happy baby. And this is just a kind of like a voluntary free-form stretch. That's how I like to use it anyway. We're all different, and what we feel after a practice like that is going to be different. We also come into the practice with different tensions and things happening in our body. So you want to the best of your ability, address those things. And then when you're ready, you come into Shavasana, corpse pose, unwinding onto your back. Feet apart, palms up, head centered, chin tucked in slightly. And as I've mentioned several times, the yin class, it's almost like we break the relaxation up between each set. So we do 30 seconds or a minute, after each one. In this class, we don't really do that. So the end part, this part, becomes more important. So you can think of this as we saved all of those rebounds, all of those relaxation points up. So what I recommend is 10%. The class lasts approximately 50, 60 minutes of movement. So set a timer, 5 minutes, 6 minutes. You can do longer, so never be worried about doing 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes if you feel like it, if you have the time. But it's, in our culture, generally people are doing too little. So that's why I say set a timer, 5 minutes at a minimum. Lay down, close your eyes, ask your partners and pets to wait in the other room. And just for that period of time, see if you can not move a muscle, just lay perfectly still.